Okay, and now we are beginning to really have a little hands-on session. So what will I explain to you today is basically what is NOMAD all about and how you can navigate all of the different parts and what is all there. So it's really not meant to be doing something already. I just want to show you what you can find really. I can also show you where like this RESTful API is and how to interact with that. So I will talk about this. I will start by basically going to NOMAD. We're using today the beta version, so you can find that if you navigate to the page I'm having here. It's also in the chat. It's nomad-lab.eu. And when you're there, you see our fancy new page. You've seen it in the presentation before. And there you can go to Solutions and NOMAD. When you then scroll to the bottom here, you can go to our beta version. So we're going to use this because there are the latest features. We also have a stable version, which you can just open on this right side on top of here with Open NOMAD. But for now, we're going to the beta version. And when I click this, you directly land on the entries page. So you see already a lot of uploaded entries here, which are published in NOMAD, where you can really interact with that. Here on the left, you also see a banner that we're in the beta version, so you wouldn't have that in the stable version. I will just click this away. And today we want to really interact with this NOMAD. So as said, also in the tutorial, we need an account to log in and to interact with NOMAD. I will do this here by going in the login. If you don't have an account yet or hasn't time to create it one, you can also register one here right now. So please feel also free to follow along while I'm doing this, and really you can create your account now or in the time after this part of the tutorial. So you're really ready after this part to also do the things the others show you how to interact with NOMAD. I will now log in here. And then you can see that I'm just here. I have to click this banner away again. You can see that I'm logged in here with my name now. So you should see something similar for you as well here. So I now will quickly go through all of these different parts we're having up here and what you can find under them, how you can also find support for different stuff and adapt that to your research and show you a little bit with that what is all possible with the NOMAD. And in the end, I really will create an ELN entry, share it with the others from the tutorial, also show this collaborative aspect of this, and then hand over that. So first of all, I will show you the about part here. So you basically find information about NOMAD. So whenever you are stuck, you probably should go to this about page where you can find like general information. You can find a link to our forum, FAQ. You can find the sources of NOMAD. And one thing I want to draw to attention to is this documentations here. So if we open this, you have like a nice overview how NOMAD is working. And also we have this point schemas here. So we have a lot of documentation on different topics like deploying a NOMAD, it's called operating here, developing for NOMAD. So if you're interested in that, you can also have a look there. But today we deal with these YAML schemas, and there you can also find a whole section here about this. So if you have followed along today and you want to know more and to extend the things to your research in your lab, then it's recommended to go here and really have a look. Here's a nice introduction for all this. We also have a section for the YAML schemas, and we tell you how to write them, what different types, shapes you can have there, how you generate subsections and all of that. So really, this is an exhaustive documentation, so it's recommended you just check it out after the tutorial and work with this. So yeah, under about, there's all of this information, and then we have analyze here. This analyze is really doing something with your data, getting knowledge about your data, interacting with NOMAD. And first point here is the API. As it was asked before, how can I interact with all of this? We have a RESTful API with NOMAD where you really can like interact with that. We also have shortcuts throughout NOMAD where you really can generate like snippets of code where you know, like if I want to download this entry, then you get like a single line of code or like a single web page which you can like get or post data to and then really consume this data. So, but here is like a general documentation for all of this. So we have an API dashboard and documentation. So you can just go there and get some information about that if you want to programmatically interact with NOMAD here. And we also have the section NOMAD meta info here. One note to meta info, it's essentially the backbone of this YAML schemes we're writing. So this is the information which gets parsed into NOMAD to really make it searchable and everything. So here is a documentation about this, what is all there, and when you need information about certain entries you created in your ELN, you can just go to this meta info tab here and look it up here. So it's basically a large documentation about what is currently active in NOMAD, what can be parsed, and what does it mean, this part of this. We also have a link to the AI toolkit. So if you're interested in AI interaction with NOMAD, so you can just go there. So it's an external page. So it's definitely worth to have a look there as well. Last but not least, in this analyze part, we have the remote tools hub, short North, where we can run Jupyter notebooks basically in the cloud with NOMAD. So that means that you can analyze directly on the server in your uploaded data with the NOMAD and really interact with your data there. We have a few examples for ellipsometry, XPS, and so on. So really, if you're interested in like doing heavy analysis for data, this is a point where you should look into this North tools here. Okay. Then we also have this explore part here of NOMAD. This is what you've seen in the beginning already. So here you can really search through that, how you make the search proper and how you can like select different stuff. This will be covered by paper later in the tutorial, so I will not dive too deeply into this. But it's like basically the view of all the data uploaded in NOMAD. So you can basically find everything which gets parsed into NOMAD, right? We have also a view of like specialized data. So we have like a specialized view for calculations, materials, ELNs, solar cells. Like we're also progressing into adding slowly other specialized views on the data. How this looks like, it's a really nice view. You will also see later in the tutorial and how you can like interact with these views to really get your data and search your data. Okay, and with this, I will now go into the really part of creating something in NOMAD. So this is this publish part here. So this is what it's all about. We want to generate data, we want to upload data, and finally, hopefully, we want to publish them because these are some nice results. So, and when I go to the uploads here, you already see, as I promised, here is like some Perl command with which you can interact with NOMAD already. We have also buttons throughout NOMAD where you can do this here. Normally, I would also have like a list of uploads here, but I have no upload created yet, so it's empty. So let's just create a new upload, right? So and when I hit this create upload button here, you see directly that I'm redirected to a new upload I have here, which is yet unnamed. It has an automatically associated unique upload ID, and I can give a name here. So I can call it for now my first upload. So for you, it's probably something reasonable for your lab, but since it's just an example for us, we will just call it my first upload. Then here under the first step, you can upload some files or you can create an entry. I will now just create an entry from like a predefined ELN here. So I hit this. And here I can now enter a name and use a built-in schema or a custom schema. So I will just insert here my first ELN. And I will use a simple built-in schema, this basic ELN. There's also a lot of others available. You can have a look for yourself. We will use this basic ELN for now, but it's definitely recommended to just like create some of them for your own to get used to the different parts which are there. You can also use custom schemas here. So if you write the schema yourself, something which Hampus will tell you in the next part, really writing this YAML file, uploading it, then you can select it here and interact with that. So this is mostly the part when you create an ELN for your lab, then it really is in this custom schema part here. Now I will create this first ELN here, and then you already see something like Andrea showed you before in the presentation, like this nice view with the different fields where we can insert some data. You see here is already some data pre-filled for this basic ELN to see how it would look like filled in. We have also like a date picker here, so we could also select yesterday or so. It's not really useful data yet, it's just basically how this looks like. And with this, I shortly want to explain to you how these different tabs here or what the different tabs of this upload mean. So you see here, since I created this ELN, we have this 4 different tabs up here. So we have first this overview page where you see this ELN again, and see here the metadata information of our upload, like upload creation time, entry ID, upload ID. So we have everything associated with IDs. We have also the name, the type of the ELN. So this is some basic information we're getting here. Then we have like a list of files which are raw uploaded. So this is basically like in a file system, all the files you have in your file system. This can also be like CSV files or something. So these are the unaltered files which we can just look in here. So you also see in the preview here that this is basically our data with like the basic ELN in JSON format in this part here. And here you would also see, like for a later part, we also will have the SV data. So you will also see these here, but they're not necessarily parsed into NOMAD. And parsed into NOMAD, this part you find under this data tab here. So if you go here, you really see this part we've seen before, that we have like all of this data parsed here, that there is the knowledge in NOMAD, what is really in here. So this is essentially like when files is the raw ones, data is the representation of NOMAD after processing and getting this information. So everything we get under data, this is really the part which is also searchable within NOMAD and the part which we can interact with. So this is what we're going for, because we want to get our data really searchable and also have them available for others, right? One other important part, more for debugging, less than really interacting, is this logs part here. So this logs is essentially if your data from the ELN gets parsed and everything like this. Hopefully nothing happens, but sometimes maybe your ELN schema you've written will not be parsed. And here in this upload entry, as you see here, we don't have the success here. So we have something else. Then you really want to make sure what's happening here. So then it's nice to go into the logs and really understand what happened here. Okay, yes, these are the different parts of the upload. I will now go back to the overview of the upload. I like quickly switched here to this. So if you've seen before, what I've done quickly is that we can always with these 3 buttons navigate to our like information about this. So when I hit this here, you get information about this uploaded entry, right? So it's always nice in NOMAD to follow these 3 dots to get knowledge about this data here. We also have a list here in this overview of our raw data here. So we can also open this. We again have like the 3 dots to go to this entry page. You find this all over. So it's always nice to navigate to different parts of NOMAD with these dots here. Okay, and when we have now created our ELN and inserted all of the data, we maybe want to publish it. And then we will follow step 3 and step 4. So step 3 is editing the outer metadata. So there you can add additional information like commands and references and all of that you want to have. And the publish finally is publishing it to NOMAD, getting a DOI generated for this entry. We are also able to have an embargo period so that your data is not fully available, only the metadata is searchable. And we can select an embargo of up to 36 months for publishing. After that time, automatically this upload is then fully published, right? Okay. Yes, this is the workflow of really publishing something. And now I want to draw your attention to the last part, these buttons up here. So this is basically interacting with this upload. So first of all, I promised you we have also something where you can like programmatically interact with this data. So maybe I was a bit quick. So we have like this pointy brackets here, also denoted API when I hover over them. So when you click them here, you see that you can request these entries here, and you can like copy this URL to, for example, with Python, with the requests library, you can request all of this information of this upload here. So this pointy brackets you will find throughout NOMAD. You maybe have seen them in the upload before, so you can basically click them everywhere to get a specific URL of this. And if you need more information, you know where to find it under Analyze API. We are also able to delete this upload here. So whenever you want to get rid of this, you can just click this. Then it will ask if you really want to delete for sure. So, but if you really want to delete this, you can go down here. We also have like a button for reprocessing. This is that the data is reprocessed in NOMAD. As I've shown you, we have these files and also the data. If we want to update this data part, the meta info in NOMAD, then we want to reprocess that. So we'll later in the tutorial see that we often also use this reprocessing. We can also download these files here, so then we get a zip folder of everything which is in here. Wouldn't be so useful now because we only have this one file, but for like larger uploads, it's really nice to have this. And last but not least, here with these heads here, you can add collaborators to your data. You see, for now, I'm the only one interacting with this upload, but now I want also my colleagues to work with that. So I will also add all the people working with me today on this tutorial. So it's Hampus, Pepe, and Andrea. So I will add them here. So you see they are now listed as co-authors. And you will see in the later parts of the tutorial that they're really using my upload I created here to add new ELN data and really adding information to that. So this is the route you can take to really interact with your colleagues to get all of your data together somewhere. So this I just have to submit here. And then it's shared with the others. And you can see them here as well. You can also invite new users if you have people which are not working with NOMAD yet. So you can also hit this here and write them in a mail, and then it's explained how they can log in and everything like this. Okay, with this, I hopefully gave you a short introduction and it wasn't too much with that. And I'm open for your questions. Please make sure that you're registered and log in for the next part of this tutorial. You now have like 5 minutes to like log yourself in, play around with NOMAD, and at 3 p.m. Hampus will start with writing a schema to this.